Hi Sagittarius, it's Rebecca from Being Human Tarot. I'm joining you today for, and also, yeah, sorry, I had to open the window because it's just too hot. It's June, but as a result, there's going to be some background noise. Hopefully not a lot and just kind of like sporadically, but thank you for bearing with me. So this is your July 2018 forecast in a 5-card spread that begins with where you are at the beginning of the month, your task for the month, your struggles for the month, your strengths for the month, and your ultimate goal for the month. So, to get started, you also, I shuffle beforehand, and so, and turn over the cards, so I'm looking at the full spread now. You have this is quite an air energy month for you. You have a lot of swords, just teaser, spoiler alert. So where you are this month, Knight of Swords. Actually, that car honk was sort of timely because the Knight of Swords is such an intense energy. Like, this guy is raring to go. So where you are is you're ready for action. Like, you're going like 90 miles an hour, like trying to take off. It's, you know, in the sword suit, which means this is a lot of mental energy. So it could be you're just feeling incredibly competent and sharp. Maybe at work, maybe on a creative project that's outside work, maybe even just in the relationships that you have in your life, maybe in friendships. Maybe you're just feeling like you're able to connect with people and you're meeting a lot of people and you're just like, yeah, let's do this, let's get this job done, let's plan some trips, like let's do all of it. Like, you're ready to go, which is impressive because I've not seen this kind of energy in the other signs this month. It's been a little bit of a sleepier month, I think, for people. Your task is the world. No pressure. So the world is a major arcana card. It's the end of the Fool's journey. So it's sort of like the ultimate best outcome, where you've been through life, you've learned sort of the major lessons, which isn't to say you're like this perfect human, you know, coming out of a conveyor belt and then that's the world. It's not. We're just by our nature inherently imperfect, and that's fine. It would be scary if it were otherwise, frankly. So, but your task, I guess, is to really tap the energy of the world, and maybe it's even a little bit of a warning, or not a warning, but a little bit of guidance to kind of chill out from where you are here, because although this can be a very positive energy depending on what you're applying it to, it can be a bit of a hectic energy. You can be doing things a little bit too fast. You could be missing details. You could be missing out on experiences. And so as a task, the world, when, you know, also figuring in the Knight of Swords, the world could just be like, whoa, take a step back. Like, remember the bigger picture. Remember, like, the full picture of what it is we all want here. And, you know, not that we all want the same thing, but variations of all of our worlds. So, in your position of difficulties this month, you have the Ten of Swords. It's your second swords card. Which, of course, I keep saying of course, and I need to not do that. It's just sort of a natural, like, language tick, I guess. But your difficulty, I think, is to not feel like such a martyr this month when something doesn't work out. Because you're starting off very, very quickly. So, like, you know, potentially even recklessly. So when you're starting out with that kind of energy, things don't always work out. You could run into something. You could turn off people who feel like that's a very aggressive energy that they don't want to have anything to do with. And so the difficulty for you this month is if things don't go perfectly your way, again, task is to kind of like remember the fuller picture of the world and the different ways that you want to be to kind of get here. So when things don't necessarily work out, like there's no need to feel like a martyr. There's no need. These are 10 swords in a person. It's a bit extreme, right? It would take one sword to put this guy out. And so it's okay to feel let down. It's okay when something doesn't work to be disappointed and to grieve it, and you know, whatever other form you need to kind of deal with that disappointment, but maybe kind of keep in mind that you could have seen this coming, you know. So don't throw yourself in so hard that you're flinging yourself into a situation with 10 swords that are all gonna pierce you, you know, like take a step back, Sag. So for your strengths this month, you have it's funny, in the other video I just said that the 7 of Pentacles was showing up in like half the readings, and it truly has been in different positions always, but it's ever present. So there's obviously I mean, this must be, I feel like there must be some kind of planetary alignment that's just applicable to all of the signs that is really rooted in why this keeps showing up. But so the 7 of Pentacles, and the other idea I speculated on was we're all just kind of like, it's summertime, it's the middle of summer, not everyone has had a chance to like do something luxurious, like take a vacation, go to the beach, do whatever. And we're all kind of just like, oh, we've been working, we've got senioritis of the adult variety, and can we just be done? Can we just be done for a bit? Can we rest? And so as a strength, as this in your position of strength, you're able to deal with this energy without being exhausted by it. You can recognize what you did and how much you've done, and you can feel proud of that rather than just being put out, which is great. It's very positive. It's very positive, especially with like how quickly you've been doing things and how you might not be looking at all of the details. It's good that you can still take a step back and look at the work that you've done and feel proud of that and accomplished. Finally, for your goal of the month, you have your last sword, the Queen of Swords, who's sort of like, I have a crush on the Queen of Swords. She is who I want to be. But we are not very alike. So the Queen of Swords as your goal is, that actually makes quite a lot of sense when you have this very quick shooting forward energy at the beginning of the month. Then your difficulty is not rushing into things so much and then feeling so persecuted and like such a martyr for what you could have predicted. You could have predicted based on how you're putting yourself out there and the actions that you're taking. And so your goal is kind of like, after the fact of all that stuff, like remember to be like the Queen of Swords, who is just a master of her own mind. You can see how deliberate, if that'll focus up closely, you can see how deliberate she's sitting. She just has total control. And she's not afraid of telling people hard messages, but she's not like an ice queen either. She's fair, and she knows when to speak up and tell her truth and be honest about things that maybe people need to know, even if it's not easy to know. Whereas the Knight of Swords, I mean, look at these guys together. Not so much control, right? So the cards are really asking you at the end of the month to tap into the Queen of Swords' energy and just emulate her presence and aura of being mentally sharp, and just she's a great leader. She's a great leader. So in any of the ways in your life that you take on a leader role, just envision her and kind of remind yourself that she is the ultimate to be like very fair, very collected. So that's your reading for July, Sagittarius. In a second I'm going to pause this and then pan down so that you can see what the reading actually looks like in its entirety and its spread. Make those a little bit, I'll straighten the cards out for you so it looks even prettier than it does right now. If you liked this video, I encourage you to give it a thumbs up. I would also love it if you wanted to subscribe to the channel, and if you do and then you hit the bell icon next to subscribe, you'll be automatically notified when we post the next batch of videos, which we do before the 1st of every month. So you'll get an advance heads up. You won't have to be like digging through your subscriptions on YouTube. You'll just know as soon as it's ready, and then you can have a little bit of time ahead to check out what's coming up for you in the next month. So thank you for watching. Bye, Sag. So here you can see the full spread. You can also hear the lovely chimes of that ambulance. Thanks for tuning in. See you next month.